Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to take a look at a novel of some great repute named Hyperion. Now Hyperion was written in 1989 by Dan Simmons. It is the first of 4 books in what is called the Hyperion Cantos, and it is an extraordinary piece of work that you may or may not want to take on. And I'm going to kind of give you some primers today to sort of see whether you think this is the type of novel that you're going to want to experience. So first, let me give you a little bit of some background on the premise of this story and why the format of the story may or may not be appealing to you. Hyperion is set in the far distant future where mankind is spread across the stars, and now 200 planets make up the hegemony of man. And Hyperion is probably one of the most mysterious and bizarre planets in the universe. It's also, at the time of this story, one of the most dangerous. Most of the inhabitants there, most of the humans, they want to leave. There is disaster impending. We have a military force called the Ousters who are approaching. War is inevitable. And there is this horrifying, deadly creature entity known as the Shrike, which appears to be causing some manner of death and chaos. And into this mix comes 7 people on a pilgrimage to the fabled time tombs. Now, the time tombs seem to control the flow of time, and in time going not this way, but maybe that way. And it's also the place where the Shrike are believed to emerge from. And the Shrike, which are really hideous creatures, are also believed to be able to control the flow of time. Now, this pilgrimage is an unusual collection of people. We have everything from a soldier who's gone to hell and back. We have a one-time best-selling galactic poet who is probably the biggest jerk in the group. We have a hard-boiled detective. We have a father and his infant daughter. And we have others who make for a strange collection coming to this planet at a time when the planet by and large is closed to travel and to tourism. And they're going to make a long and difficult pilgrimage to the time tombs. Now, why are they doing this? The why of it actually occupies the vast majority of this book. So let me take you back a little bit in history. If you are familiar with Geoffrey Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales, you're going to begin to understand what the effective structure of this story is like. So Chaucer's Canterbury Tales, which by the way are absolutely worth reading, a little sluggish at times, but fascinating and historically very important, involves several people from different walks of life on a pilgrimage, a religious pilgrimage in the spring. And this was something that many Brits would do. And the entire story is each of them telling the other pilgrims a story of their choosing. So you have everything from stories among the high class born to the rabble. You would have drama, you would have comedy, you would have mystery, you would have murder, you'd have all kinds of things going on. And in that sense, this is pretty much the structure of Hyperion. It is these people, they have chosen from numbers, they've each pulled a piece of paper out with a number on it, and that shows them the order in which they're going to tell the story of why they have come to Hyperion at a time when nobody should be coming to Hyperion. Now, this is where the book is either going to be something you love or you hate. Because I will tell you right now, plot is not a central purpose of this book. In fact, the main premise that I described to you of this pilgrimage, which is quite fascinating and that it is quite troubling as well, the plot, the actual physical linear plot, takes up maybe about 15% of the book. The other 85% more or less is devoted to these, at times, novella-length stories that these individuals are telling. So that means the stories really need to be super compelling to keep your attention. Now, I found some of them to be quite remarkable. And the most compelling of all is the story of a man named Saul Weintraub and his infant daughter Rachel. It is gripping, it is heartbreaking, it is terrifying, it is endearing, and just absolutely beautiful. There were also stories that were very exciting. There were chases, there were murders, there was instant travel across the galaxy. We have a soldier who survives near death in war, occasionally meeting up with this mysterious woman who appears to be traveling the opposite direction in time. In other words, he is her past and she is his future, and so forth like that. And we have all of these stories that each of them by themselves provides us a little bit more of a clue to the structure of the galaxy, to the forces at play, and what may or may not be happening on Hyperion. Now, this is an extraordinarily well written book, but when I say extraordinarily well written, I'm talking about the writing style, which is very literary. Dan Simmons is a beautiful lyrical writer, and I think definitely should have his place among the more achieved literary writers of genre fiction in recent times. Hyperion was published in 1989. But I will warn you, of the almost 500 pages of this book, we get an awful lot of very detailed, elaborate, beautiful prose, and it is beautiful. It feels poetic, which is in line with what a lot of the literal influences are on this story. But that may turn you off. If you're the type of reader who likes kind of bare bones, tell me what's happening, let me get to know the characters, let's move the story along, you may have a problem with this book because it does take forever to get anywhere because of these backstories. On the other hand, if you're the type of reader who likes to sit there with your cup of tea or maybe your milk chocolate with some dropping some little marshmallows in there and just sort of sipping and enjoying the savory nature of the depth of the wordplay, oh, you're going to be in hog heaven with this book because it is really going to immerse you in remarkable ways. So I think really that's something you want to consider before you invest in this book, because like the Time Tombs itself, it does feel like as you're reading that time can really slow down and even reverse at times, and then suddenly it's moving forward very, very quickly. Now, one great thing about this particular format is that each story is centered strictly on one person and the people in their orbit, so it really does allow you to get to know those individuals, because it is with each person, it is like reading either a very extended short story or even a novella, because some of these backstories really do go on quite a long time. So if you really want to be able to immerse yourself to the point that by the end of the story you feel compelled to know what's going to happen to each of these 7 people, then again, this book is going to be for you. But overall, I would rate this book very highly. I think if you want a thought-provoking piece that is going to challenge you, both in terms of its nonlinear story structure, but also in terms of its vast, vast canvas, then this book is absolutely for you. If you prefer stories that are rock'em sock'em, straightforward, linear plots, this ain't going to work. This is not going to work for you. So Dan Simmons, Hyperion, check it out. At least read the sample on Amazon. That'll give you a sense of where you're going. Do that with any novel, really, and makes the book buying process easier. Until next time, bye-bye.